Well, there is something extra on to say. Now there's another movie on TV. It's really cool with Kevin Spacey is his name. He's so cool. I like all of his movies. Really cool. I like his movies. Anyhow, there is something else I'd like to say about movies. Actually, I was talking about Procurando Dory, Searching for Dory is the name of the movie, right? And that one of the areas of feasibility of North Korea in the TC for contributing with those new 3 matches, the chess matches, and through either distant or field observation developing scripts for movies about love in Africa. Because why I thought love? Because I was mentioning that North Korea has this love thing that they ship like shippando. They ship the couple on a distance. Oh gosh. They ship. No, it's funny because I'm saying like I'm talking about the shipping for disintegration of particles. Look, the whole sequence. I started saying that they put people who are without any evidence of soul or electricity in the body in separate parking lots, and they stay there, and after they supposedly freeze these parking lots, the whole area, they freeze little by little, they freeze these parking lots. And Titanic also, right? This is so Titanic, but they freeze these parking lots, and I said that this technology for doing such thing either exists already in their labs or supposedly should be developed if people thought it was an interesting thing to have their afterlives carried out in such means. So, but then I said that this technology could also be financed by a ship that would stay on the peninsula of the Koreas, and the ship would receive material such as plastic and particles of solid residue to disintegrate those particles, right? And the ship, and they say, "Oh, ship the couple," you know. They want to be communists because they ship the couple. You know, what's the word? This slang, you know, they use nowadays. We ship the couple. We ship the couple because we want the ship to disintegrate particles. But they're so funny, and they create things. They're funny anyhow. I'm just connecting one thing to the other. I just like it's out of the blue, out of my head, you know. That's so funny. Anyhow, so and because they ship couple, so like there is a connection on the web, like in between the houses, in between the it's not a web, it's an invisible web, and you cannot see this web, but I don't know like how it is there, or supposedly in the fiction that I am portraying here, that the person would receive a number or a code, and it's a secret code that she receives when she's born, like a ship, but she's aware of it in the, because we have the ego and superego, and like in the middle of the two extremes, the two poles, we have it's aware but not quite, so you know that it can be activated. This code can be activated, but you don't really know you're using it. I think it's id. I think this is called id. And the people would talk with this code in the id. Like, I don't know if it's id, ego, or superego, but they would talk with this code in this, and there is a platform that observes this, and they ship the couples, like they this is really common too nowadays, like in like the what's the name of the platform is how's it called? It's harmony, eHarmony, right? eHarmony does that too. But it's like, it's a little bit different because it's with the Indians that created, but it's a little bit different. It's similar. So this is why I said love in Africa, because just see like how is the relations they could observe through movies, or to field observation, or through people they send there to do that, and I don't know, not even, maybe not themselves, but correspondence right? Okay, and then the second idea for the movies would be developing children's scripts about reincarnation as polar bears and penguins, accordingly to the supposition the North Pole and Antarctic were frozen morgues. So for teenagers and for children of the countries that believe in reincarnation, to teach about reincarnation, right? How reincarnation works. So this was an idea, and I have like a theory for reincarnation, a theory for reincarnation, but I don't really discuss that openly, like for this situation. I believe a reincarnation is something more chemical, right? But in this case, maybe maybe the car sunk into the ocean and combined with the oil, and there was an explosion there, and then like the person was inside the car sunk onto the ocean and was frozen, and your DNA was frozen, right? So it was intact, your DNA was intact with hair and bones, and it sunk into the ocean. And with oil and all that, it maybe there was an explosion in I don't know. So okay, this is what I wanted to say. And oh, and more here, like there's more here, because I wanted to finish. I was finishing with the three areas for feasibility of North Korea in the TC for contributing with those new matches of chess that would upcome. The new matches of chess are for deciding either if the purgatory or the resurrection are not if it's right or wrong, but actually it's not even that. It's actually there's something more here. I'm gonna just put here just a second, guys. Here, something more here, just a second. Here. Just a second. So is after death unto redemption either the purgatory or the resurrection? Which one of these two should have the type for the not the all the type, but the greatest share of the reincarnation, Buddhist, India type. So I think this is more like this. So the chess match that to decide which African countries will negotiate with North Korea when North Korea has their stocks in the TC. So what's the purpose of this chess match? Is out that I'm proposing is after death unto redemption either the purgatory by relocating countries after reheating the body under the finance of the relocating to other countries. Dá trabalho isso. Dá trabalho isso. To other countries. So, the chess match, is after death unto redemption either the purgatory by relocating to other countries after reheating the body under the finance of the Catholic tithe for the mercy of God, or resurrection, reheating bodies for church purposes, then having a Catholic burial upon no longer showing evidence of soul. Because in the other circumstance the body would stay in a dump, right? Which one of these two should have the greatest share of the reincarnation? Buddhist, India type. So the African countries that resist most to Catholicism may negotiate with North Korea when they have their share. And then 3 areas of visibility of North Korea in the TC for contributing with those new matches. The first one are the movies. Then Australia would receive funding to finance the screening. The second one is the calculus for basic needs to the population of the 10 poorest countries in Africa upon the same amount needed in North Korea annually, considering number of citizens. So, because I explained in the previous video, North Korea wants to be communist, so they want to remain small. And Africa won't have enough money to start right away, like big right away. So, considering the amount of population, North Korea would make a calculus for each one of the basic needs that each one of the African countries would need to have a city there, because North Korea is small, but they have a city, They have cities there, And they would also make calculus for how many 3D printers allowed in the world to avoid a Babel Tower effect. The 3D printers may work compulsively and create obsolete and unduly. I mentioned in a previous video too that artificial intelligence, they start creating too many things, or just fabricating things out of hand, and then there was a problem with that, because it's like money laundering with civil construction, but then the machines would do that because they wouldn't control themselves, So. The tasks 2 and 3, the calculus for basic needs to the population of the 10 poorest countries and how much they need, and based upon the North Korea needs too. And the 3, calculus for how many 3D house printers allowed in the world. The 2 and 3, they could be financed by the Roman and Orthodox Catholic Church. And if 3 solved, funding for 3D printers may increase. When the funding for 3D house printers increase, more printers will be created, and the ideal is that the African countries would be the owners of the stocks of the printers to sell to countries who have more money, like Brazil, because Brazil, it's poor here. We have not all, we have a good condition, but in the Sertão, Northeast, they don't have houses. It's really poor, really poor. But we have money to buy the 3D printers for houses. Those countries in Africa, they don't have money to buy it. So if they could have stocks, if they could organize themselves with NGOs and all that, and to have stocks themselves, as a propriety, to sell machines to other countries, they would start to have an economy going there, right? And it's, of course, it's an awareness that needs to begin, of how to deal with money, how to deal with property, how to deal with, it's awareness. But the Catholic Church is really good at teaching people that. The Catholic Church is the best. The Catholic Church is the real church, and it's really good at teaching people how to deal with basic needs, and it's really good. So colonizing, really, right? And I believe that the time when they would colonize with force and with pain and all that, it's over. It's not about colonizing with pain anymore. It's about colonizing with sense and care. And the pastorais, how do you say pastoral in English? Let me see. Pastoral in English. The Google doesn't know. Apostolate. Pastoral or apostolate? Apostolate. Apostolate. Ministry. Ministry, apostolate. The apostolate. I think it's apostolate. The Catholic is apostolate. So the apostolate. Takes care of those things nowadays, like in poor countries and stuff. It's not more like the padres, the priests that would go to other countries, and they were really good too, like the ones who came here in Brazil and colonized. But there was the force in the weapons. So. Okay. And so, if the need for more 3D printers, 3D house printers, increase, the Africa will have more money to buy things from North Korea, and North Korea will have more stocks to pass on to Africa, right? And North Korea deserves, because they have all this going on. They have this issue on the communication of the sheep of like it's the culture. They have a culture going on. I think I don't know, I'm of this opinion, when there is a culture going on, when there is a culture going on, when there is an argument, but it's a cultural argument. You know what I mean? It's a cultural argument. It's like, it's not only that, the leader said it's right, so everybody does. No, there is a cultural argument going on there. And most of the times it's always like these, But sometimes people don't know. And this is what I'm exposing to you. Two topics here. The sheep of the couples, and the after death, how they believe the after death happens. That they will be parking lot. The clip Marry the Night by Lady Gaga shows this example, that they will be in a parking lot, and if they can respond to a stimulus, they are rescued, and they follow each other. The lovers follow each other in the afterlife in other countries. But if they can respond to the stimulus, they're put away. Right? And many people believe like that in our country too, because there is a religion here that is a Christian religion, that they believe they will sleep for a long time before they are awakened for a final judgment. So maybe they will sleep in a parking lot. Like they believe, Maybe here in Brazil it's not in a parking lot. Maybe here it's like in a shed. But I don't know. I believe differently. But I haven't been a good Catholic. I haven't been. But I don't know. I just hope that I'll be forgiven when I confess, and that I have a new chance this year of 2020. I just hope so, because I want to go to the church more often, Mass. I want to go to Mass more often, and to take communion every week, because it's really important. It's really important. It's really important. It is really important, That's what guarantees that you will either live the whole soul evidence of energy of your body when you die, or if not, because your body is still too heated, that you be reheated, but you will stay serving the church, like somewhere, somehow. Maybe not as a member, not as an official, like, but because maybe I'm not, but not not maybe, truly, I'm not a person like too Catholic, I'm not a saint. I'm not a saint. This is what I mean. Maybe because I'm not a saint, but maybe God is merciful. But but I don't know. But maybe serving the church until like there's no evidence of life in my body. However, I have seen our cousin, my husband's cousin. She passed away really, really, really old. And I don't know, I have the sensation that she totally left the body because she was so really light, She was so really by grace, and I'm so sure she went by grace. She wasn't heavy. She didn't have like a heavy organs. I don't know. Nobody knows, right? She was. I don't know. I have the sensation she was so like peaceful. I don't know. Nobody knows, but I don't know. And this is something that I think, that if you're Catholic, you may go like just little by little. So these are two things that they collaborated. They gave an explanation of how the North Korea gave an explanation about how it works for the after death. Actually, they gave two explanations why they want to be communists, right? And what I'm trying to say mostly here is the following. Let's say that they really don't want to buy they really don't want to maintain weapons anymore. They're really serious about the denuclearization. They really don't want to maintain weapons. They gave two reasons why they want to maintain as communists. The first reason is because they don't God in my heart, in my mind, crazy mind, okay. I was inspired to say these, to write these, and to read to you here. So, the two connections that I made was that first, that North Korea may want to maintain as communists because they want to continue to ship each other, like observe like how they feel for each other, and to be shipped, and to be shipped, to be connected, to be shipped, to be connected, to be arranged together, right? Maybe this is their culture, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. One thing I know for a fact, so many marriages in my society of people who married because they loved each other and destroyed relationships. And really, sometimes if you are in church, the like the now again, what's the name of it? um I forgot the name, maybe in Portuguese. Catequista, catechist, catechista, catechist. So the catechist, they like, I don't know, the catechist or the person who is like responsible for the youth. They observe like the couples too, right? So these two, I think these two, they have like something. I mean, times they actually encourage them to be together. Not like arrange, but encourage somehow. I don't know if someone like comes to them and say something or ask an opinion or I think it's like encouragement. And yeah, so I think society does that as a whole, right? Like regardless of where you are, school too. The school does that too. Like if you're at school and you meet a girl or a boy, like the school does that too. Like not the teachers, but the society, the community does that. So I think it's normal. Societies, this is normal. But for them, it's really, really, really serious. There's this, and there's the other things about the after death. I don't know really how they reheat their bodies of their people. If they reheat, how they reheat. If in a parking lot. I just mentioned the Mary the Night, the video clip by Lady Gaga. And I don't know about the frozen morgues Antarctica. I don't know either, but I don't know if that's a possibility, but I know that maybe it is a possibility to have the ships for disintegrating solid particles such as plastic. And it's time to rethink how much the countries should have, and the profit of the actually this is I have to change this in um, the article too, because this article is mostly to talk about these, is to talk about the role of the services that each country provides to each country provide to other countries. For example, North Korea. I'm just mentioning them because this is the scope of my article, but I'm not sure either. No, it's not a safe source, but I'm quite sure that they develop platforms for education, platform of studies. So like I study long online. I do that. I study long distance, and in Africa too, many kids study online for high school. So they have like smartphones and they study online. These smartphones they get from countries such as South Korea, which is partnered with North Korea. North Korea develops the platform of studies with the content and all that, which is acknowledged by other countries such as Russia and USA, and other countries acknowledge each one their subjects. This is one thing. So this is one thing that North Korea receives money for, but there are other things that other countries do, and we must reimburse those countries properly. Like for example, the the recycling of paper, plastic. It's really important to reimburse properly those. No, but it's so simple. But there's no profit, you know. But there's no profit to recycle paper. There's no profit to recycle plastic, you know. And then there's no market, because there's no profit. There's no market. We have to rethink how to reimburse those countries who have these area, this job, this area of work as the most attained, the most important. And I was saying in the previous video that North Korea should have a part with the recycling of paper, so reforestation and recycling of paper, but that's a small part of the stock market. However, we should, as I'm saying, we should start looking stronger for this area, because nowadays we don't have space for residues anymore. And as well, we should have those ships anchored in the peninsula for those ships in the peninsula for disintegration of particles of plastic. Maybe be careful with the glass. Be careful with the glass. But the disintegration of the plastic and plastic particles. And I think if it's possible, I don't know. I don't know if it would melt or because I don't know how it would, the process would be. If you would melt, I think it's similar to recycling. You would melt, then you would break, melt and break, melt and break, melt and break. You know, but inside the ship, anchored in the peninsula, and so the garbage would be gathered in ships, and they would travel all the way on a route all the way to the peninsula, and they would be parked there where the process would happen. And in a part of the peninsula, I don't know how big it is, but one ship would do that, a big ship filled with trash would do it, and they would return more trash, and would do that. Or in spots of the ocean. And this route would also create a new route for sending them food that they need with other ships. And I also thought that this, for them landing the parking the parking for ships for this integration, they would earn money for that, and also the technology that they developed for the disintegration too, because they have technology for that. So, and they would have like help of South Korea to develop the disintegration, in Japan, in China, in, if not, United States, you know. But this is up for them. I just give the idea. I just give the idea. Okay? Okay, so I have to write more things down because I just had those ideas. And I hope you have a wonderful 2020. Okay? So, namaste.